Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and viewing and watching this podcast, The Kelly Brewer Show. We are documenting the culture, among other things. Today, I have a special guest, Mr. Rick Leach, my friend. I appreciate you coming,
Yes, sir.
taking time, taking 5 minutes out of your busy schedule. I know you're a working man. Y'all probably know him as Alter Ego. Meet the other me is the phrase. So, great rock and roll band. But I'm gonna read a little bit of just a little bio for your reference before we get into the meat of the issues. Okay, born in New York. Okay,
Yep.
raised in Montana, city boy and a country boy. Started singing. Didn't know you could sing until you moved to Texas. That's right, man.
Had no clue.
Huh?
Had no clue.
Had no clue. Well, Texas will do that to you. So you say here you learned some guitar chords at an early age. You didn't even, I guess, remember from your mom. Drumming came natural, and music and God is the answer to everything in his life.
What else is there?
What else is there? Besides sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that is the other. You can go that way, and I did for a
That's
while. I don't know if you
years
did.
ago.
Years ago. That's the past. Well, that's what I want to get into is, what changed you from that, just a young person, to now, a more thoughtful sort of adult. What happened? What changed?
Well, I'd have to say my foster mother made that happen.
Mother.
I grew up with, natural parents, and it wasn't the greatest living situation. I ended up getting in a lot of trouble at an early age. Ended up in a juvenile,
Montana.
a juvenile prison for
Wow.
a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
When I was real little, and it took this
Real
lady-
little.
Yeah, well, 15, 16 years
yeah,
old,
yeah.
and took this lady that used to come and pick us all up for church to make some changes happen, and she ended up being my mother. So,
Wow.
Yep.
Somebody took 5 minutes, put her hands on you and said, it's going to be okay.
Put
baby."
her whole entire life on hold
Wow.
for a group of boys.
Oh, a group of y'all.
It was a group home.
Y'all. Oh, I got you. Oh, was she over the home or
Yes, her and her husband.
I got
But
you.
she did more of the counseling.
hands on?
Yeah.
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 What was her name?
Donna Richardson.
Donna Richardson. Well, there are angels walking
Yeah.
the earth
She's 86 and still alive.
in Montana.
Yep.
Wow. Now, surely you go see her every now and then.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's amazing. You hear about literally angels walking the earth, and that sounds like one. So I mean, you just we all have fire in our blood, right?
Mhm.
Young men do, and we just don't know how to control it sometimes unless somebody's there to help. What would you say was maybe the biggest thing she did, or
The biggest thing she did was she showed me what a real living situation was like, what real parents are supposed to look like and act like, and that probably made the biggest impact in my life. I, grew up with alcoholic parents and father and abusive, and I had no idea how to respect people, what to look for in people. I was mad at the world and everybody in it, and she just showed me who God was and what it was about, and really set a good example of a parent.
wow? Yeah. So nobody had ever showed. All you had seen was chaos and violence and
Yep,
you know
absolutely.
irresponsibility and the whole thing, and so you just never knew. It
No.
wasn't that you were bad. It's just you didn't know.
I had no clue. I knew who God was, but I'd never heard the story.
Right.
The way she explained everything to me.
So that came in about when you were 15-ish, 15 to 20 maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, for better words, strayed away from the path
Yeah.
a few times in my
Well,
life.
sure. It's not
As
a-
we all do,
It's not a perfect. We have a
And,
great enemy, that's pulling us
yeah.
down.
Absolutely.
So what brought you to Texas?
Ooh, I was still staying in Montana, but I was just kind of roaming all over the place. And my
Working?
brother,
You were working or
no,
just roaming?
just roaming. And my brother, he ended up in Texas because he worked for a surveying company that traveled the United States, and he met a girl here when he came to Texas, and he quit the job and stayed here with her. And he showed up for Christmas in Montana at the same time I did at my mom's house. Neither one of us knew the other was coming.
Wow. When you say your brother, a blood brother or
A half brother.
one of the
Same-
guys?
Same mother, different parents.
I got you.
I mean, different father.
Gotcha.
And we just got to talking. He's like, man, you know, you need to come to Texas. There's all kinds of jobs and stuff. And so instead of him flying back or taking a bus back, we just hopped in my truck and we drove all the way back here. And I think the following week I got on with the tugboats.
Wow. No.
And that's how I ended up here.
Yeah. Just almost
Just never
accidentally.
left.
Never left.
Never
Just
left.
Literally accidentally almost.
Yeah.
Well,
Did that for a number of years and a couple other jobs. And now I work for the city of Nederland as
Oh,
a
yeah?
garbage truck driver. And I
Really?
love it.
man, you've done it all. Sounds
I've
like
done everything.
Been around the world. That you know, I've always wondered, being on a tugboat or whatever. That seemed like a little bit of some adventure. You know.
It's adventurous and boring and exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got downtime, it's just because I'm not a fisherman.
Yeah.
A lot of other guys on the boats, you know, when you got downtime and your dock got their lines in the water,
Right,
I'm
right.
not a fisher. And so that was the boring time for me. But the exciting times when you're climbing up the side of a ship on a Jacob's ladder to give them fuel samples
Oh man.
in tow while going through the channel.
Oh, yeah.
You're tied up to the ship and you got to climb up this big ladder, and that was kind of exciting.
Oh,
for me.
I see. So the
Yeah.
tugboat would come up alongside.
Right.
Then you had to get off, go up into the other one, take
We
a
were a
sample.
fueling barge, so we had to give them a sample of our fuel for them to test to
Oh,
see if
I
they
see.
still wanted it.
Oh, I
so
see. So just like those planes in the midair fueling, you guys are mid-channel fueling.
and it takes them a while to test it, so we undock from the ship and they would go into port and tie up, and then we'd show up later if
I
they
see.
wanted our
I see.
services.
What's the Proud Mary? Keep on rolling. I keep thinking of that song.
Or
you
the
know?
riverboats.
Yeah, that's kind of might have been your theme song back then. But
Yeah.
so you were still just sort of rambling. You were, sowing your wild oats as we do, and
Oh, I had no structure. in
no
my life.
structure. Even though she had tried to help you. We boys just need a man. They need a
Right.
father. To really help them.
And she probably would have finished her job if I met a girl at the church, and I hate using this phrase, but one thing led to another, and ended up having a baby and living
Really?
with her.
Wow.
And my mother begged me not to move out. She said God wasn't finished with me yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but against her wishes, I moved out, and I had a child when I was 19 years old.
19. Wow.
Yep.
Where's that person at?
She lives in Montana also,
Oh,
Great
okay.
Falls, Montana. I did have a chance to reunite with her and flew her down here for a visit.
Okay, good.
So it all worked out real good. Ended up going up there for her wedding, and
So, all right. So, how old is she now?
she's got to be almost 40.
Wow. Holy moly. She
Yeah.
got kids?
She's got 2.
Oh, wow. So, you're a grandpa.
Grandpa. Oh, the story don't end there.
Oh, yeah. No, it keeps on and on.
I got 6 kids.
There you go. Oh, okay.
I've been all over the place.
Rambling
Casper,
man.
Wyoming, New Hampshire. Just didn't learn from the first one,
I gotcha.
But I've met up with all my kids. I've made amends with all of them, and have really good relationships with them. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. That's hard to do.
it is hard to do.
That is difficult. As much water's under the bridge on those kind of situations. So, well, that's good. I commend you for that, for making that as and the best you can.
Owe 0 money on child support. Took care of all that.
Wow,
So yeah.
that's amazing. So I hadn't heard, I've heard some tales, but not one quite as widespread as all that. But
Been
so
everywhere.
Yeah, Been everywhere, man. Isn't that a song?
I've personally been to every state in the United States, but together, me and my wife, we are in the process right now of redoing that all over again and collecting shot
yeah.
glasses from every state. So if you walk in our house, we got this shelf full of
Right.
shot glasses, and I think we're missing probably 10 or 11 states.
Yeah,
So,
but it's more of a history lesson. Than
oh, it
a
is.
drinking
It is.
lesson.
Every place is so different
It
from
is.
the other
It is amazing.
culture and everything.
Well, I noticed though we've taken a few like motorcycle trips right across the country, and what I see is after a while, you know, after you kind of get your callus built up, it just like it's the same town over and over and over and over the same town, and it's caused me to have the thought that Biter is the biggest town in America, in the sense that there's so many towns exactly like it.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know why we can't win more elections, but whatever. It don't make no sense. But I don't want to get off into that. So, all right. So you've been everywhere, man. You're in Texas now. Do you got any kids now that are with you, or young kids, or?
Not with me. The last one that I had was here in Texas, and she has done grown up and moved to Georgia
Yeah.
and is married. So
Oh, okay. Well, so tell me boil it down for me. What is, you know, here you're the rambling man. You're out there, a space cowboy. You know, what's the thing that you could boil it down to and say, if you were set your 18-year-old self down in front of you and say, hey. What would you say? Now, you wouldn't listen. Your 18-year-old self wouldn't listen. But still.
First thing I would do is kick him in the ass really hard. But, man, so many people has tried to talk to me when I was 18 years old,
Yeah.
and you're right, I probably wouldn't listen. But if I wanted to get a point across is people matter. Doesn't matter who you are, and you matter. You're important, because those were the things I wasn't told
Right.
from anybody but my foster mom. So, and that'd probably be the biggest one right there.
Yeah.
Is that you got a future. Your life isn't over. Your life isn't ruined. Straighten up, figure it out, buckle down, and do it.
Do it. Just
do
do it. Well, that's a good one. You matter. Yeah. You have value. You're not worthless. Just because somebody else thinks you are doesn't mean you are.
True.
Yeah.
You matter to somebody.
Right.
So
That's right. That's a good one. That gives me chills thinking about that. Do you have any interaction with your parents anymore? Or?
my never knew my father,
Mm.
and learned that he died some years ago. And I knew my mother, but wasn't really close because of the situation
Yeah.
she, allowed us all of us kids to be in. I'm the last of 7 kids, by the way.
Mm.
So we come from a big family too. And she passed away probably about 7, 8 years ago, something like that.
Were you able to make amends there or no?
Not really. By the time I flew up there when she died of cancer, and when I knew she was passing away, I flew up there, and by the time I got there, she was in a coma, so
Yeah.
there was no talking.
Yeah.
And she passed in her sleep.
I got you. Dad, you don't know if he's alive or dead.
Oh, he's passed away also.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Never
Well-
met him.
Really?
Yep. All we had to for a father figure was this really piece of a work. person.
Stepdad type
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very evil man.
Really. Eesh. A soldier for the devil, huh?
That's it, man.
Well, and then they attack the kids. That's the thing that I see is, man, the kids are just under attack, And you were under attack. That's what I feel from you,
Yeah, I've learned to cope with it and deal with it. I guess the hardest thing I'm dealing with about all that is forgiveness.
Yeah.
Because to be forgiven, you have to forgive.
That's right.
but how do you forgive something that has been the presence of evil, the entire time you're growing up?
Yeah.
So
God.
it's just, and it's hard to forgive. That's why I wasn't close with my mother. It was hard to forgive her allowing us to be in that because she knew.
Yeah. Yep. My dad came up in a similar type situation, so I see the scars that he has, and his ability to he never did forgive his mom. I don't think either. He just was so mad at her.
Yeah.
The dad died in World War II, and he never met him, and it sounds a lot like my dad's situation. But the thing about my dad was he didn't repeat that. He turned it around, and he gave us,
Well, that's good.
even though he's not a Christian man, he still gave us a solid home. Him and my mom, they worked really, really hard and the pattern was not repeated. And so the 4 kids, relatively stable. Well, I'm not going to say we're not crazy, but
Yeah.
relatively stable individuals. And it could have been a lot worse. I remember the alcoholism, the family that we were around, the stumbling around and the fighting and the cussing and just
Yeah.
just sheer stupidity. And as a little kid, you're looking at what is going on. It just feels so wrong, But
Yeah. I'm in the process of writing a book right now. So,
oh, are you?
yeah, which I need to talk to you about when we're done.
Okay.
So
Have you got a title, working title?
it's called Eureka, where I was
Eureka.
raised, Eureka, Montana.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not that my life is interesting to anybody, because I know that, there's plenty of people out there that had a worse upbringing than you or I ever had. And, but it's not really about that. It's about how to deal with it afterwards, which
Yeah.
I haven't figured out yet.
Oh, yeah?
But I'm figuring out as I go.
As you
with the
write
book.
it.
So,
There
yeah,
you go.
It's when I first told my wife, she's like, the very first thing you have to figure out is why you want to
Why.
write a book.
Why, yeah.
And
Good advice.
I figured out my why, and I didn't know it until I got halfway through, which is where I'm at right now. But it's if I could do anything, I would go into the schools and tell my story
Yeah.
and tell these kids, hey, tell somebody.
Tell somebody.
Go to your teacher. She don't listen. Go to your school counselor. If they don't listen, go to the principal. They don't listen. Don't go back home. Go to the police. If they
Wow.
don't listen, find somebody that will listen.
Wow. So it must have been pretty bad. You're not even telling us the full depth of it. So
No.
and you probably can't. But the book, we'll find it out in the
Yeah.
book. In the book, Eureka.
Eureka.
That'd be awesome. So it's going to be a sort of a factual account, or you're going to fictionalize it?
No, no fiction whatsoever. Stuff that happened in my life, you can't make up.
Yeah.
It's better in fiction.
I got you. Eesh. That's kind of, yeah. Well, it's cathartic. It is. And the books that I've written, First Contact, I'm getting it out. I am getting it out of my system. I'm working out issues, through the characters, and it's been a joy. It's been a
Aren't you working on
pleasure.
a second one now?
Huh?
Aren't you working on another book now?
I've got 3 of them done.
Oh, wow.
The
Okay.
the trilogy. Water Witch comes out next month. The 3rd one comes out in November, and I've got 3 or 4 more lined up, trying to just keep one in the pipeline as long as I can.
As long as you got ideas.
That's it. So my life is down to 2 words at this point: create content, whatever it is.
Yep.
So I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do it. My mind, So I'm
Feel the
just
same way.
dumping it out right now. Here it comes. So I wish you luck in that.
Well, thank you.
You're gonna,
Thank you.
and I self-publish, which means I foot all the bills, but the work is 100% mine.
Absolutely.
And then but now you got to promote and you got to get it out and whatever. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed it so far so much. So the writing process has been a lot more difficult than I thought. I thought I could write until I started writing, and then I realized I did not know how to write.
It's hard.
It is hard. To go from point A to point B is very difficult.
Yeah. The very beginning of mine, doesn't really make any sense because it's like when you think back to your earliest memories, it's just like Polaroid snapshots.
Yeah.
You don't remember the detail in between.
Right.
But the more I went on, the more it started becoming a story. And so it's really hard to follow at first, but nonetheless, they're memories, and they're my memories of what led up to,
Yeah.
who I am and
Right.
what I'm about.
I got you. Well, once you get it done, man, you could come back and talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be great.
Absolutely.
Or heck, by then you might have your own podcast. You're a hardworking guy. I mean, when I watch you play, I think when I saw y'all the other day, something I hadn't noticed before watching you play is how much you try to involve your audience. That
Oh,
is
you have to.
so much. It's a paradigm. It totally changes the atmosphere. It's not just me, I'm praying, look at me, I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
It's, hey, let's enjoy this together.
When it all boils down to is, playing a show isn't about you. It's about them people
Wait.
that come to show you love.
Are you sure you're a rock star? Wait a minute.
It's the other me. I mean, it's
It's not about you. Wait a minute.
the Meet the Other Me. That's everybody that's a musician. When you get up there, you're
right.
in a different mind frame. You're a different person.
Yep.
You're doing something that you don't get to do normally
Right.
throughout your day. So it's about the people that come see you
Yeah.
and show you love and
It
support
is.
you.
Well, that's good.
So I try to involve them as much as we can.
And you do almost every song, man. And that's good. That's hard to do. Some people, they're too shy or whatever. Brian Barron's another good one at
Oh
that.
yeah,
So
Brian's a great front man.
he's really good.
One of the best singers I know.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He was on, he was on here, and the story I remember the first time I ever saw Brian, Pirate Escapades, that's the talent show at the high school. He wasn't even in high school. He's in freaking junior high. And I had only been playing guitar for maybe a year or two, and we're up there, and I have a full band, And then Brian gets up there by himself, this little kid, and he sang, I forget what he sang, but he sounded so good. Back
Yeah.
then, 8th grade or whatever.
Oh,
he was in,
wow.
that I was thinking, dang it, man, this little kid is fixing to win, he's going to win the show, because we were, 15, 16, we wanted to win. But we won, and it probably only because only high school kids can win. He was still in junior high, but he would have won, but because he sings that well, so it still does. He sings with joy.
I support them to this day.
Yep, you were
Every
out
chance I
there
get.
last night.
Last night, as a matter of fact.
Right, and then you were talking about Kevin got kind of wiped out over there, so prayers to him. But all right, give me. So anything else? What else? What else can you like say a lesson? What's a lesson you learned? What is your value? You're worth something. But what do you do with it now that you realize?
Well, it took a long time, but even as a young adult living in Texas, I was still mad at the world and hated it, everybody in it, and it just took me a while to, like I said, I didn't even know I could sing. Went out to discovered karaoke,
Yeah.
and I remember the song. I did "Wanted Dead or Alive" by Bon Jovi, and got a standing ovation also, and people were just, man, you need to be in a band, you need to do this, you need to do that. So I got a band.
Yeah.
Wasn't the band I have now.
Right.
It was me, 14-year-old Carl Richardson.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a young kid, but still an awesome bass player
Right.
at that age.
Right.
Mark Brett, Keith Busey.
I know Keith.
Yeah, Keith was part of it. The band
Where are
was
you,
called
Keith?
Tasty Neighbor.
Tasty
Tasty Neighbor was the name of the band. We played one show.
One show. Okay, that's why I never
Yeah.
heard of you.
Yeah, then we broke up. So I was 25, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you'd been doing it that long. Yeah, Busing. I've been trying to get him on, but he's elusive. He'll get it. We'll get
Yeah.
him. We'll snag him.
He's a
So-
good musician also.
I like Keith. He's
Yeah.
a hardcore individual, very focused, and knows who he is and what he wants.
Absolutely.
So what do you do once you realize that you're worth something, that you have value, that you're not just God don't make no trash,
Right.
Right. What do you do with this gift now that you have it? What's the
Give it back.
Give it back.
It's not ours to keep. I feel that, all these people that want to, which, they may have different reasons for doing so, but want to stay in their bedrooms or in the garage and just keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
You were given something.
Yeah.
And I feel personally that, you have to give it back. You have to love people with it.
Which you do in your shows. That's what I saw. I said he really enjoys being right here and being with these people. So okay. So you're living your mantra. You're living what you learned.
Yeah, it took me a long time to.
What finally clicked? So there's another click in there you're not really describing.
The final click would have to be the wife I have right now.
Oh yeah, there it is.
It's been a rocky road. Not most, but some relationships are. Like I said, I didn't have any role models show me. This is how you treat a woman. This is how you become a husband. This is how you, I had no role models in that. So it was very rough around the edges at first. But I didn't have a driver's license when I met her. It had been revoked.
Wow.
I didn't have my CDL before I met her. I had no goals in life whatsoever. And
except me, right?
That's it, man. The me monster was very huge. Still tries to rear its head once in a while.
The me
man.
monster.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And she's a great woman. You know her.
I met her. Very sweet.
Yeah. And she's pretty much, being married to her, it's pretty much made me realize that this is what life is about. This is it. This is,
Love.
the way it's supposed to be.
Love.
Yeah.
I always think of us, our heart as a valve. You got valves in your heart, but I always think of your heart or your soul or whatever as like a water valve. And you're either closed or you're open.
Yeah.
And when you're closed, well, all that's backing up behind there. The pressure's building, you're building up contaminants, the water's stagnant. But man, once you open that valve and love people, fresh water, you get refreshed. The people downstream get refreshed.
Oh, absolutely.
All the impurities get washed away.
I made a lot of mistakes, but she's been there for every one of them.
How long y'all been married?
We've been together going on 17 years
Wow.
altogether, and married 15 years.
Yeah.
Going on 15 years, because we were together 2 years before we got married.
Gotcha.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I've made some mistakes, bro.
Right.
But
She has patience.
it's still coming through.
Yeah.
But, not the mistakes, but
Right.
the support and
Wow. Well, it's hard to find somebody like that. So it
It
sounds
is.
like you kind of got a book in there. You've got the foster mom that helped you through, and now you have this good woman to help you across the finish line. So
Yeah.
God's watching out
by
for
all
you.
rights, man. She should have been down the road a long time
Yeah.
ago. She says, "Heck with this guy, man."
Yeah. You tried to run her
But
off.
she's
wouldn't.
she's always told me, I see something in you that nobody else sees. So
Value.
that value thing.
There it is. Well, it sounds like God sent you another angel.
Man, couldn't ask for more
Yeah. Well, that's
in a
good.
person.
That's good. Well, praise his name. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Leach, my friend, appreciate your time.
Thank
Appreciate you sharing. That's not easy to do,
you. No.
but you did it. So, ladies and gentlemen, peace out.